We exist. We aren't existing, right? What in the world? Interesting. Not entirely sure why it decided to do that, but whatever floats its boat, I suppose. We exist. Yeah, because that was locked. That shouldn't have changed at all from the last time. Actually, you know what it might be? No, because that's the same. Never mind. I don't know. Things are weird. But it's fine. We exist. And the 3D printer's being loud. I've been trying to print this one file since yesterday. And it just has not wanted to print. Hello, baby man. Good morning. Yes. Hello. But it has not been behaving and wanting to print properly. Most recently, it straight up is refusing to print the file. I'm not sure what that's about. So if this doesn't work, that's the future news problem. See, because I don't know what that's about. Would you go lay down? Good lord. Buddy. No. Thank you, good boy. Good lord. It is still calibrating. Okay. It was very weird that it would stop in that corner, because usually it stops in the opposite corner. We'll see. It'll either work or it won't. But for right now, we're doing hair tufts. And obviously he looks a little silly. But he's going to get many, many more hair tufts onto him. So. We do not have the back of his head yet. Just the top and front. Okay, that's better at least. It's not slamming into the front of the machine again. So hopefully it's good now. In fact, actually, I think it might be easier to take him off the mannequin. Okay, good. It's actually printing. Huzzah! Yeah, earlier it was straight up not wanting to print at all, so that was really weird. This to be straight up the middle. I do actually need to brush this seam right here. There we go. This is kind of like the next zoo where we are going to have a lot of pieces that have to be hand sewn. Except it's not going to be as many pieces. And they're bigger. And of course I'm using the shortest needle in the world, I swear. Which is not helpful. Right now, these guys are really floppy, but that's just because they're not glued down. Once when they're glued down, they won't flop so much. But none of the fur on the top of the head is actually glued on at the moment. And that's just because it makes it a lot easier for me to sew in the hair tufts. So once we have all the hair tufts on top sewn in, they'll get glued down, and then we'll move on to the back of the head, which is gonna be complicated. Before we can do any of the fur on the back of the head, we have to do the lining. But we kind of have to do the lining and the furring at the same time because there is a zipper in the back of this head. So it's a little complicated. So there's these two hair poofs, which kind of resemble the two big hair poofs on this guy. And then we're going to move into a smaller hair poof that I still actually need to sew together. This guy. And I think we're actually going to sew it on this side. And then we might do... It really depends, right? Because this one's technically supposed to be in front of this hair poof. But because of how hair is, no. There's only so much head on our otter here, so we're going to kind of try to keep the same poofs that are on the hair, on the head, as much as we can. But at the end of the day, we're going to end up with far fewer and far floppier hair poofs. It's just really funny to me that this one keeps flying sideways. It's not loose at all, though. It's just only attached by a single row of stitches. So this one's also really well. That's the thing too. Until we get more poofs on here, they're not going to have as much room to flop around. But the floppiness will add a little bit of dynamic to the suit, which will be nice. I really like when suits have a little bit of something that moves on them aside from just the person in the suit. I have fur on my nose. Okay, good. The printer's still printing good. That's always good. We're going to do this little poof, and we'll see where he fits when he's stuffed, because the overall shape is going to look smaller when we stuff it, because it's going to kind of fill out widthwise, which will take it in from the other directions, if that makes sense. It's not going to be a whole lot different, but it does make a difference. And then we'll go from there. I think we need some more small tufts. And maybe another medium tuft or two. We'll see. There's not going to be too many large tufts, these big ones. There's probably going to be like 2 more of them on the back of the head. But as for right here, there's not going to be a whole lot. And I honestly thought, I feel like it'll be easier to know how many tufts I can actually fit on the head, doing them one by one, rather than having a bunch of them patterned out. That printer's cooking. Look at him go. I know that today I'm streaming at a bit of an odd time for me. I have an appointment that I have to go to later this afternoon, so, and I didn't want to cancel a whole other stream again. So instead I figured I'd just do a quick and short stream today. I know I ended up not doing last Thursday's stream. We had a bunch of errands to run and people to help move and such, appointments. There's been a lot going on lately, so many things all the time. It's been a busy couple of weeks. But hopefully, we'll get more streaming done this week. We won't be so chaotic. Trying to get these corners to look nice is a little difficult. Just because it's all long fur. Which is the interesting thing. Despite the fact that this guy only has the 3 separate colors, he actually has 5 different colors fur. Well, not 5 different colors, but 5 different types of fur. Because we are generally using a short pile on him, but parts like his hair tuft and such, we wanted longer piles on. So. which he looks very silly at the moment with just 2 hair ties. Trusting the process, trusting the process. If you guys would like to know a little secret, I do not trust the process at all. I am forced to trust the process. I don't trust it. That printer's going. Yeah, it's pretty fine. I have it printing super fast with very little infill at the moment. Because this is not a piece that I plan on reusing, this is more just to create a base pattern for the feet paws for this guy, actually. I've been trying to print it since yesterday, and kept having failures that were mostly user error more than anything else. But it did mean that I had to restart the print multiple times after it was already halfway through. Because this print takes like 2 hours, 3 hours at most. I'd actually cut it in half and decided not to use the other section of it because that part was optional. And we're just printing the part that we need to print for now. And I might print the other one later on. Yeah. Hopefully this one actually looks how I want it to look and isn't just sad. Shush, bud. Yeah, shush. It's a little difficult because I'm generally finding what I want, but getting it scaled up to the proper size is difficult. Which honestly it would be quicker probably to do a model, like a scaled down version and not to scale for what I want, but I want to make sure that it's exactly how I like it. And the easiest way to do that is to print to scale, which means waiting for it to actually print and using a lot of filament. But that's why we're only doing 2% infill. Which honestly I debated doing less than that and doing no infill, but I had a feeling it would not print well if I did. So I didn't. I don't know. Hi, hello baby. Hi, hello. Oh, big stretch. Can I help you? I'm a little busy at the moment. I'm busy. You know this. It's the same thing every week. Multiple times a week. Can I help you? Do you just want out of the office? Is that what you want? You want out of the office to go bug people? Here. He heard people moving around in the house and was like, oh, I wish to go bother them. And now he's gonna cry because he's not in the office. He's a big baby. Alright, and that wasn't enough thread. But yeah, see, like that makes a huge difference on how this one little tuft looks. Granted, it would be fluffier, but it's a lot smaller now than it was. thread. That's what I was doing. Get our big boy thread. Ow, I've been stabbed. Yeah. I can do it. I can exist. There we go. Tuft. I hear it making questionable noises, but I know it's printing fine. It's just sounding scary. Because it's printing so thin and fast, it does catch a little bit on the infill, which isn't great, but we're not printing for quality here. I am, however, trying to flip out this point as best as I can. There we go. This is a hair tuft. Yeah. The thing is, we don't want symmetry, so I don't want to just put a small hair tuft on this side and then a small hair tuft on this side. We want it to look a bit more natural, and natural is asymmetrical. Wow, you're printing like shit. Why? It is not happy today. I imagine it's partly because of the info. I don't know what I did, but it sure is doing it. Something about this print just does not make things happy. Go. Beep, beep. Now that it's stuffed. close them up, and stitch them on. See, and that's the thing, the only part that's not printing well is the infill. The other parts are printing fine enough. I'm gonna check on it again, though. It is so weird. Turning up the extruder a little bit to hopefully get a better extrusion, because that's not great. He's not very happy at the moment. Although again, I think most of it is an issue with the file itself and not the printer. I don't want to stick this one here, sticking to the side, because right now all of our tops are kind of leaning this way. So I kind of want to start him in the center pointing outwards a little bit. Not a whole lot, but enough so that he's not emo. The hard part is keeping him still while I try to sew all these pieces. And then, let me just check something real quick. I just gotta make sure that I've got stuff set up right. Yeah, okay. I have to sneeze. Ow. That one hurt. That was a painful sneeze. That's a sneeze that just ripped up the whole back of my throat. Good lord. Ugh, awful. This is the joy of trying not to be stabbed. There we go. And now we've got a few pieces on top of his head. So we're finally looking a little less silly. Still a little silly though. But we're kind of going to work our way from the front backwards, which sucks because that's usually a pain in the ass way to sew it. But that's going to be the best way to do it on this guy. I think we might take a medium piece right here. Or a small piece and set it a little further back. This side shows a lot of small pieces in comparison. I think we could do a small piece and set it further back. Or we could do a medium piece. I think the medium piece is going to stick up too much though. You know, like it's going to stick like this. I think we'll do a small and we'll just sit it right behind the ear. Angle so you guys can see better. And then it will sit nicely there. And then we can do... We should do another medium after that. We could do a small here. And we should do a medium here. Possibly here. Probably both, actually. One medium and another small. So let's trace those. Sharpie. I'll tell you what, I am good at losing things, which is not great. It was a brand new Sharpie too. I've only got 80,000 of them. It's not in my pockets. Not in the drawer. He's not hiding it. Alright, I guess I'll just get out another Sharpie. Watch, I'm gonna find my Sharpie in the next 30 seconds. It'll be over here somewhere. This isn't even a new Sharpie, this is an old Sharpie that was put back in the day. That's fine. Use them until they dry up. And now it's dried up. Also in very sharp. Not as dry. You don't need a huge seam allowance on these, so I'm putting them right close together as much as I can, because you want to be able to have enough for the whole head. Isn't as easy as you think. And this is what happens when you have a bunch of old Sharpies stacked up in here. I might actually be running out of Sharpies in that. At least this one's mostly alive. So that's good. Alright. So now we got our chunk of pieces. We just gotta cut out and sew together. Hello, hello. Sorry, I was not paying attention. I zoned right on out. Not paying attention in the slightest. We are working on this otter suit. We're working on getting his hair tucks on today. And I zoned out big time, cutting out pieces for him. Kind of forgot I was streaming, honestly. I was just like, la-di-da, cutting fur, thinking about how I'm going to do other parts of this suit, because this guy's going to have 5 toes on his feet paws, so I'm currently 3D printing a base model that will hopefully be how I want it, without having to make too many more modifications, because I've already tried printing it 4 separate times already. I'm a little tired of printing it. It's an issue of getting things to scale more than anything else, but what are you gonna do, you know? Drop fur, that's what you'll do. So we're making progress, slowly but surely. A lot of this is slow work. It's a lot of hand sewing for the hair, unfortunately. But he's going to have a lot of fun features in him. For example, he's got some whiskers, we've got some plush teeth, the follow me eyes, which is the default on my suits. He does have removable tongues, which I haven't exactly shown off on stream yet, actually. But he does have removable tongues. And then he's going to have a fully lined head with a pocket in the neckline. The biggest thing is this will actually be my first suit commission to have a fully lined bodysuit. Yeah. No worries. I can actually go grab his tongues. Maybe not. Maybe I won't go grab his tongues. What in the world? I'm getting attacked. I'm attacked by my own thread. It said no, you shall not leave. There we go. It's an ugly print, but it's fine. It's printing, and that's what matters. We do have two separate tongues. And then we got his normal tongue, which you can't really see because mouth. We do have a silly boy tongue. It is not happy with his teeth existing. But it is the silly boy tongue. Oh, I lost my thread. There we go. Oh, and then I lost the other end. Come on. I think lining them up and tying them is going to be that difficult. There we go. Shoot. 2, 3, 1. Cool beans. Cool. Got hiccups. There we go. Oh, good gravy, I can't do anything today. There we go. Struggle busing all day long. Yes, we are. Ads, no, not the ads. Agile, agile, agile. There we go. This thread really likes to tangle itself, which is meh. There we go. There. Aside from the 3D printer, it's a pretty quiet stream today. Speaking of which, I do think we are almost done streaming. I'll probably do this one last tuft, and then go from there. I do have to get ready to leave for my appointment. Oh. I wish this thread would stop tangling. It's gonna drive me nuts. There we go. And now we're back to fiddling with the corner of a hair tuft. Although this one should be a lot easier. Yeah. I don't know what I did last time. I made it so funky, but I did, and it was very funky. There we go. The hard part is trying to get the ends lined up nicely so they don't go sideways. Although going sideways would make it look more natural. But it just doesn't look as nice, if you ask me. He's gonna need a brushing. He's looking a little scrunchy. Just a little. So you can see it a little bit on his snoot on camera, since it's a darker color. The lighting in here is weird. Cool. That's totally what I wanted. There we go. That would be that out of the way. And I thought I had a little pile of stuffing going, but I guess not. There we go. There we go. I want to make sure that the ends are nice and stuffed too, so that they hold their shape well. Now we got almost one entire piece. Just gonna tuck in this little ends here and finish sewing up the last little bit. Tie a knot. Oop. Tangle. There we go. So now we finally have one whole poof. What were we talking about? Let's see. You like that? This guy really needs something to support him a bit more. So we're talking about putting it right here-ish, I think. Which I think looks pretty good from the front. Not bad from the side. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. We'll put it right here. Okay. Come here, poof. I do not like the noises that thing makes when it's printing this. There we go. This is an odd spot to have to get into, because it's right by the ear and between the other hair type that's already there. It's a little difficult. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. But I'm not. Hey. And try not to poke our fingers off. Yay. Alright. Let's see. This one hair proof is going to drive me nuts. And I know it's just because it's on the back here and it's a bigger proof. That's not looking bad. That's actually pretty cute. I don't do this style for hair a lot. To get much more simplified hair. Oh yeah, that's much better. We have it tilt over like that. Yeah. Don't mind his tongue. Let's actually remove that so it doesn't get so furry while we're working on it. Now I think we need to do another medium right here, do we think? I don't know what that's gonna have the result that I want. Even if I put it directly behind this little one. I think that's too much. Put another small tuft. I kind of want to tuck it between these two, I think, to help force this one over. And I'll tuck it right there. And then we can do another, pretend this is a small one, another small one right here afterwards. Yeah, I think that'll look the best. And then we can start doing the back of the head, because I think that pretty much, we could do one or two off to the sides behind the ears, like so. Looks like this side doesn't have anything right behind the ears, but the hair is supposed to go out pretty much the full width of the head, so we could sew on more small ones right here too. So we'll do a small one, another small one, at least 3 small ones, if not 4. And we'll save this medium one for later. Because we will need larger ones going down the head. So this will do. But it has been quite a while. And we are actually going to skedaddle now, I think. Since I have to get ready for stuff and things, and I'm sure the dogs are mad that they're not back in the office yet. I will see you guys hopefully on Wednesday. Fingers crossed. God knows I'm not good at keeping my schedule, but we'll try. Bye.